So we have three people: employer, employee, and the government. Multiplicity of unions leads to inter-union rivalries. According to this act, the following constitute unfair labor practice. So prevention steps should therefore be taken so that reduce industrial disputes. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm B.B.A from the Department of Commerce and Management in Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to the third session of Human Resource Management 4. In that we are going with the fourth chapter, Industrial Disputes. Now what exactly the industrial disputes are? Primary strike, secondary strike, we all went through. If you have not watched the video, please do watch the video of the session 1, session 2 and 3 here. Now when we go with the third session here, please do understand, we are going with the topic called as the dispute, what are the causes of dispute. So when we understand the causes of dispute, we get to know clarity about, okay, these are the things which happens in the industry. So we have three people: employer, employee, and the government. So here what happens is, what is that employer is doing to keep the industrial peace? We need to understand. What is that employees are doing to maintain that harmonious relationship? And what is the third one is the government, that what government gives the support, whether they support the employer or the employee. After that, we'll come to a conclusion saying that, okay, it is not because of these three, it is because of something else which is called the heterogeneous behavior. So let's check what are the types of disputes which happens in the industry. The first one here is wages and allowance. Now in any industry, when it comes to the minimum wage or to the fair remuneration or to any kind of a salary and the wages, nobody is happy. They all feel that we have worked so much but the employer is not giving us more. So that is what the dispute causes. Next is union rivalry. When I say union rivalry, please understand, in industries itself, we have multiple unions. So multiple union, if it is there, ego clashes will happen. The second thing is what? That is, if A union is better than the B union, people will actually join A union rather than B union, but still there are some unhappy souls of A union which they'll go to the B union. So dispute among the union, rivalry with the union itself, which happens, which is a cause. Political interference. Now politics, where they are, some trouble will definitely be there. Say we are dealing with the human being here, the laborers, the employees. Now political party will actually make an agenda of it and they want the support of these people for their voting. So what they do is they'll propagate their own agendas in the union itself. Managerial causes. Say in the union itself you have a management issue. Say a person who's a leader, he's an autocratic leader. What happens? In the employment also, here you have the manager or the top level, they are going with autocratic or authoritarian or those kind of a behavior. Now again, because of the managerial cause also, we'll have disputes. And the last one is unfair labor practice. Many of the industries in the north, they had gone for unfair trade practice, and we have all the records about it, what all went in those mining industries or textile industry or other kind of industries. So let's check the causes of disputes. The first one here we have is wage and allowance. The most important and the most happening thing is what? The wages and the allowance rivalries. Now here what happens is, whenever they go with the wage and allowance, the employer feel that the amount of money which the laborers are getting as a remuneration or the wages is really more, and in return what they are doing is very less. And in the next side, if you go with it, that is, if you understand the laborers statements, they feel that the employer is not paying up to the mark. The production is doing really good, productivity is actually increasing, they have all the kind of things, but the employer is not paying them properly. So this is what we call it as the wages and the allowance disputes. Next is union rivalry. So most organizations have multiple union, and those multiplicity of unions leads to inter-union rivalries. So if one union agrees to a wage settlement, another union will oppose it. Say here you need to understand that when we have two person, right, that is unions, there are, say there is one called A union and then we have a B union. So if the management they agree to some kind of a thing, say whatever the A have told, if the management agrees, now B have a strong objection to the management. Objections they'll have. So when the objection is there, again this is also halt. They'll not get the full benefit of it. So there is a rivalry between A and B, and that is what the internal union rivalry which will happen. Political interference. Now politics, please do understand. State politics or national politics or even regional politics, they always have their own interest, self-interest on the unions. So major trade unions are affiliated to political parties, and political affiliated is not peculiar to our countries alone. Even a cursory assessment of labor movements around the entire world would show that a trade union are by their very nature political, and that politicization of a rule rather than the exceptions. So what they want is they want to actually have their advantage over the union. See, you need to understand when we come to internal unions, it is all fine. But there is a political party, say example, I'll give you say XYZ. Now this political party, they are not in the ruling party, they are in the opposition party. Now they want to favor A as well as they want to favor B. The reason is you have human beings here. That is, their voting system will be more if these people will help them. They are the third party. So when interference of the political party happens, now there is a disturbance from the management or to the management. So try to understand. Disputes happen internally fine, but from external source if happens, now this management cannot do anything because political parties are gigantic. So that is a time where they have their own vendetta. Next we have is the managerial causes. Now these causes include autocratic managerial attitude. Please understand the word autocratic, where that one person will behave as he is the boss for each and every person here. Right? So this person, what he does is, he feels that whatever he tells people need to do it. Now there is a clash between the union itself. Now there is a clash between the management itself. The reason is the managerial failure here. In this, it includes failure of recognize the trade union, defective recruitment policies, irregular layoff and retrenchment, definance of the agreements and the courts, defective leadership, weak trade union. So because there is a problem within the managerial, the entire setup of the entire employee and the relationship between the employer and the employee will actually fail only because of the managerial failure. Next we have is unfair labor practice. Please understand this word, unfair labor practice act we have, that is 1947, is more specific about the unfair labor practice. Usually what happens is after our independence, when we went for launching a kind of act or passing an act in the parliament, they always thought that the minimum wage should be paid to all the laborers. Now here what used to happen is there were industries who are not even paying half of the minimum wages to the workers but getting more work from the employees as well as the laborers. That is a time, in those time, the then Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, he went with this act called Unfair Industrial Dispute Act or Unfair Trade Practice in the Industrial Dispute Act. Is more specific about what? The unfair labor practice. According to this act, the following constitute unfair labor practice. What are they? To interfere with or restrain from or coerce workmen in the exercise of their right to organize, form, join or assist a trade union. That will be there. Threatening workmen with discharge if they join a trade union. See, to join any trade union, it is our voluntarily, we are actually going there. So it is volunteer association of people. If any of the company or the organization, they say that if you go and join any trade union, then you will be not getting a job here. You are supposed to be fired. That is all what? Unfair labor practice. Threatening a lockout or closure if a trade union is organized. If they say, it is also what? Unfair labor practice. Granting wage increases to workmen to crucial periods of a trade union organization with a view to undermine the effort of trade union at organization. Again, it is also unfair practice. To dominate, interfere with, or contribute support, financial or otherwise, to any trade union. Again, it is what? It is also unfair practice of the trade here. Next one we have is to encourage or discourage membership in any trade union by discriminating against workmen. If there is any discrimination, it is also what? Unfair labor practice. To discharge or dismiss workmen. Next is to indulge in act of force or violence, to refuse to bargaining collectively. See, collective bargaining is a tool. If you refuse collective bargaining, again, it is what? Unfair practice. In good faith with recognized trade union, that is also unfair. To insist upon individual workmen who are on legal strike to sign a good conduct board has precondition allowing them to resume work. Even all these things are what? Unfair labor practice. Threatening anybody, discriminating within the workmen, or telling them that you will be fired if you join any trade union. A crucial time is there, you will actually give more money and then you will tell them not to join the trade union. Again, that is also unfair practice. So all these things are unfair labor practices done by the employer. So you are not supposed to do it. So what is the prevention of industrial dispute? See, the word says prevention is better than cure, right? So prevention steps should therefore be taken so that reduce industrial disputes and sometimes try to not occur the industrial disputes in the organization. Each and every organization should always see to it that there should never be industrial disputes, because see, who are the people whom you are having a trouble? They are your laborers. The employer, what he should see is, the employer should see that if he or she gives a very good atmosphere, conditions, safety measures, all those to the employees as well as the laborers, the employee and the laborers will never trouble the employer. In the same time, in the meantime, if you go with it, employees and the laborers should also feel that who are the person whom I am serving? He is a person who is giving us the daily bread. So we are supposed to be very honest and loyal to that person. So that mutual respect should be there. And that is when industrial disputes will be eradicated from the entire industries and the organization. So what are the prevention of industrial disputes are? The first one here I have listed, that is collective bargaining. So next session I'm going to teach you more about collective bargaining. Then we have National Arbitration Promotion Board, grievance redressal procedures, the implementation of the machineries, then workers' participation in management. We have already covered workers' participation in management, then tri-party bodies, and then the last one is the model standing order. So all these are what? They are the one who will prevent the industrial dispute to happen in the industry or the organizations. So these are the preventive measures which we are supposed to take. Some from the first, if we go with collective bargaining till the model standing orders, all these are the tools so that we can actually go with the prevention of industrial disputes. Any doubt regarding this session, please do call us. We are always there to help you. Thank you so much. I'll see you when I see you.